So, Kevin, first of all, it's great to see you again after many years. And I'm really excited about the conversation we're going to have.
Oh, I am so honored. I love following your work. In fact, I just watched your video yesterday that you put up real quick about preserving the stone circles, the walls, everything, and I would love to talk more about those because I feel like they're so important to humanity and what's coming up in the next few years.
So, I'd like to start, first of all, by just asking you to tell us, for those that don't know you and who will be watching this, a bit of your background, how you got involved in magnetic resonance and the magnetic field studies and all that, and a bit about your father, because that's when I first met you in 2013 in Boulder, Colorado, at that Breakthrough Energy Conference. I've never heard of you. And I went to your lecture and I was literally sitting there with my jaw hanging open saying, this is the guy I need to talk to. He'll understand what I'm dealing with the stone circle ruins. He'll get it, you know. So please tell us the story of your family and how you ended up here.
Yeah, so I started working with my dad when I was a child, and he was working with a guy named Rory Johnson, and they were working on magnetic energy engines that were running in vehicles in the Chicago area. So these were engines that were, they were 480 plus horsepower, and they were running day and night. They have no exhaust. They do not use fuel. These are magnetic energy engines. They can essentially go forever. And so that started our journey with magnetic energy and this whole realization that we live in this etheric universe, that all these brilliant minds over the last 100 years or so, including Tesla and Faraday and Steinmetz and all these guys that have led up to this, there's so many brilliant minds and inventors. So when you start working with this technology, you start experiencing communication with higher intelligence. It's almost like, and I mean, this is just a theory, okay? Now keep in mind, everything I'm saying is coming from a magnetic energy model point of view, okay? So these units, they attract higher intelligence. They put out signals into the universe. Higher intelligent beings recognize as soon as you turn these units on, they recognize it from very far away. And so they start communicating with you. They start giving you downloads, and that happened with us starting way back in the 80s. We were getting just ridiculous types of downloads and information about humanity and the future of humanity and what was going on with our planet and what the technology needed to change to. How damaging our current technology was and how important it was to move toward magnetic technology. And we're going to be going through this transition of consciousness, and we're going to be coming back to a more enlightened type of living. And this decade is the decade of transformation.
Could you expand a little bit about the success that your father and his partner had with those vehicles and what happened? Because that's obviously a story it's a very sensitive subject, and this is that many people are passionate about, and they love to hear that about the success, and then I guess in essence the shutdown of that technology and that initiative, because the global elite don't want that kind of tech to get out there as they do today.
So at the time, my dad was a development engineer for Greyhound armor. So he had a pretty prominent position where he could go to the board of directors of Greyhound. And so what he did was he went to the board and said, listen, we've got engines here that can run buses. Why don't you let me and my team put these in the buses of Greyhound, and we will just be we'll show the world what new technology can do, how you can get rid of pollution, how we can capitalize on these new concepts. It'll save the company a tremendous amount of money. It'll really put us on the map as the bus company of the world, just the whole presentation. Well, as soon as he did that in his naive way in the 70s, his bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, naive inventor mindset, like, all we have to do is have the device and everyone will come rushing with open arms. Well, the government stepped in, politicians stepped in. They said there's no way on this earth you're going to do that. What about the taxes that you won't be paying any longer on fuel? What about this? What about that? And then pretty soon the guys, the not necessarily, I don't want to say the men in black, but the guys with sledgehammers, the guys with authority, the guys that don't have to flash a badge, they all showed up. They confiscated everything. They took sledgehammers to units. They took paperwork. They took it all. Rory Johnson was found dead. They claimed he died of a heart attack. We know that's not true. Rory he was as fit as a fiddle. I mean, the guy was he was a, you know, he was a bull.